Locally grown food has long been available through farmers markets, and in Vermont, homegrown produce has made its contribution to building the Vermont brand. During the COVID pandemic, some of the small local farms struggled to get their produce to market, and outlets like North Shore Grown Direct stepped in to help. Now, farmers, food producers, sellers, and those in between are coming together to build on that in hopes of establishing a food hub that will provide markets for local farmers and consumers. A forum held recently on the Hill Farm Inn in Sunderland, which followed an earlier one held at the Manchester Community Library and will be followed in turn by a third one in Bennington later in May, are bringing together the players who may play a role in that effort. One of the organizers of the Farm Forum at the Hill Farm Inn was Liz Ruffa, the Advancement Director at Merck Forest and Farmland Center, who was also instrumental in getting North Shore Grown Direct going back in 2020. She described what was underway today.
There's been a very exciting development for Bennington County, which is that a group of folks that had been being convened through Bennington College's CAPA program was working on, during COVID, there was a group of people that got together as a working group just to think about what are we doing, what is missing with local agriculture in this area? What could we do better to be serving our farms and growers better? What could we be doing better to get schools more involved in local purchasing, hospitals and healthcare organizations and all the rest? And so there was an opportunity to apply for a congressionally designated spending grant to think about the Bennington County food system. And a group of folks got together and put together a compelling case study for something called the Bennington Fair Food Initiative, which really was a comprehensive capacity building effort to really not only grow the Bennington County network, but also to align it with statewide and even regional New England efforts. And so an application was put in, it was advanced by then Congressman Peter Welch, and an award was made last December to the town of Bennington to advance this idea of growing a Bennington Fair Food Initiative. So it's very, very exciting. The funding will go to support growing a network that will have a number of different local partners, many of them workforce development engines. Southwest Tech is a part of it. The Vermont Veterans Home is a part of it. Certainly Bennington College and the town of Bennington. And there's a space that's been identified. It's adjacent to the wonderful new Bennington Community Market right in downtown Bennington at 239 Main Street. And so some of the work that we're doing with these forums up at Merck Forest will hopefully inform how that space is organized and built out to be a comprehensive farmer and food producer service center. It could be a laboratory, it could be a culinary incubator space, it could be a lot of things. And so that's what folks are starting to look into, figuring out what's going to make the most sense and how to build it out so that it is not only a really great addendum to the market and is aligned with the market, but that it's also really serving farmers in the area that are looking for different ways to improve their bottom lines. And for that matter, farms in the Saratoga area, farms in, the Berkshires, farms in Rutland. We all know as Vermonters that no one's worthy if they don't put at least a couple of hours worth of driving into something from time to time. So that's what we're doing with this discovery now, is really finding out what the needs are and seeing how we can meet them. So, a lot more to come on that, but it's a very, very exciting development.
Another organizer of the Farm Food Initiative is Shannon Barsotti, the Community Development Director in Bennington.
But we really want it to be a center that's focused on farmers and food producers. So that can mean, actual space to aggregate and store products, whether that's cold storage, dry storage, etc. Commercial kitchens spaces that could be available for use for processing or renting. Event space, given its location, because it is, I hear this a lot, people are looking for, pop-up spaces. So we have all of these great chefs, but, who can afford a brick and mortar space for a restaurant? So I think we really have a lot of different options and people who we can serve in Bennington County, and that's what we want to do, and use the space also to bring in all the other resources around economic development, business consulting, whether that's through UVM Extension or the Small Business Administration. There's some really good programs out there, but it's such a web of navigating where they all are and who you contact, and if we can streamline that and really have a spot where people know to go for resources, I think that's going to have a big impact on our food system and really helping to grow our local food business.
The food initiative has been boosted by a federal grant of more than $2 million for the project, and Senator Peter Welch played a role in pushing that across the finish line. We had a chance to talk with him about it during another interview.
It was very exciting to me to see folks getting a really good plan together that is going to have environmental, nutrition, economic benefits to the Bennington region. I was very excited to be supportive.
Farmers markets aren't going anywhere, but some new food options may be emerging soon. For the GNAT-TV News Project, I'm Andrew McKeever.